The secret floor, hidden behind the high school library. Every high school has its legends, but at West Valley High, it was the ghost wing. Seniors told us the fourth floor was haunted, or that it had been sealed off after a fire in the 70s. Since the elevators only went to 3, and the stairwell doors were chained shut, nobody could ever prove it. During my senior year, I was the head library assistant. Mrs. Gable, the librarian, had been there since the school opened. One afternoon, she left her keys on the circulation desk while she went to a faculty meeting. I shouldn't have done it, but I saw a heavy brass key labeled Storage 4A. I waited until the library was empty, snuck into the service elevator, and used a paperclip to trigger the hidden override switch I'd seen the janitors use. I turned the brass key and pressed a blank button at the very top of the panel. The elevator groaned and actually started to move. When the doors opened, I wasn't met with ghosts or charred wood. It was a time capsule. The fourth floor was a fully furnished, pristine 1950s apartment complex. It had a living room, a kitchen with vintage appliances, and rows of bunk beds. It looked like a movie set, but everything was covered in a thick layer of gray dust. I walked into the kitchen and saw a newspaper on the table. October 29, 1962, the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was a chalkboard on the wall with a list of names, 12 students, and 2 teachers. Next to the names, someone had written, "Shelter initialized, waiting for the signal." I heard a heavy footstep behind me. I spun around and saw Mrs. Gable. She wasn't angry. She looked terrified. "You were never supposed to see this," she whispered. "This wasn't just a shelter, it was an experiment. They wanted to see how long people could survive, without ever knowing if the world outside was still there." She took the key from my hand and led me back to the elevator. The next morning, the service elevator was out of order. A week later, it was completely walled over with fresh drywall. When I asked the principal about it, he just stared at me and said, "West Valley doesn't have a fourth floor. You should focus on your finals." I still walk past that wall and wonder if the signal ever came, or if those names on the chalkboard are the only thing left of a history we weren't meant to find.